with Summit Fishing. Today we're going to run through a quick video on assembling your Lowrance active target system and screen on our CNC Shuttle. Before we get started, we're going to run through everything you'll need. Starting with the tools, we have 2 Phillips head screwdrivers, a stubby one and a longer one, a 5/16 deep socket, some wire strippers and wire cutters. Along with our system here, we have a 52 amp hour amped outdoors lithium battery, a Lowrance screen, chart plotter. We have the HGS-10, what we're using today, and the Active Target 2 live sonar system. So right here we have our Summit CNC Shuttle. This is exactly how it's going to come. When you open up your box, when it arrives, this is exactly what it's going to look like. Inside is going to be some shuttle hardware that you're going to use to attach the chart plotter and the system. The first step is you're just going to flip it back and remove the 4 front screws of the faceplate. Now that you have the 4 faceplate screws off, you can simply remove the shuttle faceplate. Inside is going to be your packaged hardware. And then on the inside also you're going to see a battery clamp. We're going to simply remove those 2 screws to get it out of the way. And you can set this aside for later on. Along with the cable clamp here, we're going to remove that and set that aside for later on. Inside of your hardware bag, you're going to have 4 wide washers, 4 thin washers, 8 nylon lock nuts, and 8 bolts. To get started here, we're going to go ahead and align the cradle up with 4 holes on the shuttle faceplate. For the 10-inch screens and 12-inch screens, it's best to do the holes closer to the front. You're going to take 4 of the Phillips head screws, the 4 thinner washers, and 4 of the nylon lock nuts, and you're going to feed the screws up from the bottom with the threads coming up. That way we can put the battery in a later step. Once you get those screws and nuts started, you can go ahead and flip it on its back. Use your short Phillips head and your socket, your 5/16, and tighten everything down. Now that you have the cradle installed with these screws sticking up out of the shuttle, you're going to use the remainder 4 screws, 4 lock nuts, and the 4 thick washers to attach your active target black box to the back of the shuttle. We will be using the holes closest to each other for the active target system. It's best to put the screws with the threads facing out the back, putting them in, and then taking the black box and setting them on it before you put the washer and lock nuts on. Once you get the screws in, the black box on, and the nuts threaded, you can take your 5/16 ratchet and socket and your Phillips head screwdriver and simply tighten them all down. Now that you have the black box and cradle installed, you can go ahead and take the black box power cable and the chart plotter power cable. These we will take and cut down to about 24 inches. I prefer to stick them kind of up through the shuttle where they're going to go before I cut them. So what we're looking at right here is the chart plotter power cable. I stick it up through the shuttle, and about 24 inches is, I don't know, about here. I'll go ahead and just cut them with my wire cutter to eliminate all the crazy wires inside of the shuttle, make it a little bit more manageable. So we'll do the same thing with the black box wire. We'll stick it up and feed it to where it's going to connect. And then we'll connect it. Tighten it down. We're going to cut this again to about 24 inches. Once you have everything cut, you can then strip the black casing off. So the black box power cable is going to have 4 wires. The only 3 you're going to need are the red, the yellow, and the black. So you're going to go ahead and strip the ends off the red, yellow, and black wires. Now you have them stripped, the red and the yellow can be tied together. So you go ahead and take them and twist them together. And then the black one, go ahead and twist the strands together just to keep it nice and clean. And you can go ahead and leave the blue flush like that with no wire sticking out. So for the chart plotter power cable, we're only going to need the side that has 3 wires. It's red, black, and yellow. You can go ahead and strip the black casing off. Pull the plastic back. Which is going to expose the 3 wires that we're going to use for the chart plotter power cable. The only 2 you're going to need is the black and the red. So we'll go ahead and strip them back to expose some wires. Twist each one to tighten the threads. And you can leave the yellow cut flush. We are not going to be using it, nor are we going to be using the other side of the power cable that has the multicolor wires. Those won't be used. Now that we have the wires stripped back, you can go ahead and take the network cable, which comes with the active target system. You can tightly wind it, leaving about 16 inches of excess wire on each end. So that way when you put it up through the shuttle, you have enough to get to the screen and enough to get to the black box. So we'll go ahead and feed it straight up through the hole. And connect one side to the black box. And now the wires are ready for installing the faceplate and the battery. Now that we have all the wires ready, go ahead and take the shuttle faceplate. We're going to start with the battery, the SAE port for the battery charger. Over the years, we've changed it a couple times. Our current shuttle has the SAE port with the piggyback connectors already attached. We do have a separate video on how to wire your battery charger up to the shuttle if you were to have our previous models of SAE ports. Most of the ones coming out now have the piggyback connectors already attached. You go ahead and take the red piggyback connector and the red wire with the fuse on it and connect it like so. You can do the same thing with the black piggyback connector with the black female connector. Connect it like so. Now that we have those connected, we can go ahead and worry about wiring in the shuttle. Looking at the faceplate, we have 4 options here. The only ones we're going to worry about is the connector with all black wires going into it, and the connector that has the 2 green and 1 red wire going into it. Now that we set the other 2 aside here, we push them out of the way. We're going to go ahead and take the black wires from the active target system and feed it into one of the connectors. We're going to go ahead and take the black wire from the chart plotter and push it into the connector. Once you get them in, give them a little tug test and make sure that they're in there snug and won't fall out unintentionally. So looking at our next connector with the 2 green, 1 red, we're going to go ahead and take the red and yellow wire that we twisted together earlier in the video, push it into one of the empty connectors, give it the tug test. As you see, it pulled out, so we're going to go ahead and retry that. Then we're going to go ahead and take the red wire from the chart plotter and push it in. Give them all a tug test again, and we're all wired in. Now that we have the black box and chart plotters, power cables wired into our system here, we're going to go ahead and take our battery, which right now we're using an Amped Outdoors lithium battery, the 52 amp hour. We're going to go ahead and connect the red port to the red side of the battery. Push it on. And we're going to go ahead and take the black connector and push it into the black port on the battery. There we go. Once connected, it doesn't hurt to just double check, make sure you have power running through the system. You can check our master switch. You go ahead and push it in. The blue light will illuminate. Once the master switch is on, you can check the auxiliary switch. Make sure it lights up, along with the USB port. It has an LED light to make sure it works. The auxiliary port will only light up if the master switch is on. Now that we tested everything, make sure it lights up, we're going to go ahead and take our battery, put it on its side with the terminals facing the front, right side of the shuttle. We're going to go ahead and slide the battery in, making sure that there are no wires in the way and that it will fit into the port in the back side of the shuttle. Now that it's pushed in, go ahead and take your battery clamp that we set aside earlier in the video and install the 2 short Phillips head screws. Now that the battery clamp is in, you can go ahead and lean it back. Organize the wires a little bit. And feed them into the shuttle. Reinstall the faceplate along with the 4 faceplate screws. Now you have the transducer connected. The only thing we have left to do here is take your Lowrance screen. Comes with a little box with the 2 thumb screws. Take them out of the package. Start them into the side of the screen, leaving enough space to slide it onto the cradle. You're going to align the network cable up with the yellow port on the back of the screen. You're going to align the power cable with the port, the matching port on the screen. And you're going to go ahead and slide the screws into the cradle and tighten them down. Now that we have everything connected and assembled, you can go ahead and take your screen protector off, click your master switch, your power button, hold it down, and the system will boot up. Now that you have your Lowrance system running, one thing I have noticed when assembling these, when you first start it up and click active target, it'll typically say no source. If that's the case, it's easy fix. As long as you hooked everything up right, you should be able to just click the power button, go to settings, scroll down to restore default, and click OK. The system will restart, and then it should pop back up saying, after it restarts and you go to active target, it should pop back up saying that it's been discovered and everything should work smoothly from there. That's it for today's video. If you have any questions about assembling your Lowrance system, feel free to reach out to us. We also have a PDF that breaks down each step. We'll link it in the video. You can find it on our website. We actually do sell these pre-assembled bundles on our website. We can ship them to you. You won't have to worry about putting it together or anything. Check it out under the Marine Electronics tab. But this is it for today, so thank you for all the support, and stay tuned for some big things coming.